if our quadratic function is not in standard form, it's going to look like this. Oh, this is polynomial standard form, right? If it looks like this, we have another way to find the vertex. Actually, there's two ways. One way I'm not going to go over right now. One way is to turn this into vertex form by completing the square. We're not going to do that right now. Instead, what we're going to do is, and we will look at that next unit because it's important. We're going to use this formula. You guys know this formula? Axis of symmetry formula, or I call it the middle x formula. Negative b over 2a. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
That's how you will find the middle x. Why is the middle x important? Because the middle x is the x value for the vertex. So we just have to start plugging stuff in. You guys know what the b is? Negative 2. What's my a? Alright, so we have a 2 and negative 1. No, negative 2, which equals? Negative 1. That is, for your vertex, the x. How am I going to find the y? Plug it into what? The function. Yep. Whenever you have an x, you can plug it in and find the y. Okay, you find the missing numbers. So we plug in the negative 1 into our function. It looks something like this. Negative 1 would be negative 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1 plus 1. This would give you a positive 2. This would give you a positive 1. Then the negative sneaks up on it. And so we have negative 1 plus 2 plus 1. The ones cancel out. We're left with dose. So there's our vertex. Now we can graph it. Our vertex is negative 1, 2, so we go right there. There's our vertex. Can we find the x-intercepts on this one?
Yes.
Will there be x-intercepts?
Yes.
How do you know? Because of this negative right here. Oh, snap. Okay. So we're going to, let's see, use the green then. We got x-intercepts. And to find x-intercepts, we set the f of x equal to 0. So we go negative x squared minus 2x plus 1. Oh, snap. How are we going to do this? Yeah, we could factor out a negative. You guys want to factor out a negative? Okay, yeah, so you can factor out a negative. You get x squared plus 2x minus 1. And the reason why, like, you can just divide both sides by negative 1. Because 0 divided by negative 1 is just going to be 0. Okay, can we factor this? No, dog. Question. Oh, I graphed it wrong? Oh, yeah, I did. It's be negative 1, negative 2. Okay, I'll fix that. This is not factorable. What are our options? Quadratic formula. Alright, here's a review for you guys. It's an extreme story about a negative boy who couldn't decide whether or not he wanted to go to this radical party. And so the square boy missed out on 4 awesome chicks. And they were awesome. And instead, he stayed up all night till 2 a.m. playing video games. Oh my goodness. And so we have a negative b. Our negative b is negative 2. Plus or minus. You know, he couldn't decide whether or not to go to the radical party. There's a radical party house. We have negative 2 squared. Subtract the 4 times the a, which is negative 1. I'm not using this one right here. You could use that one. It would give you the same answer, but I'm using the original one. And then a positive one right here. Well, I don't need to write positive sign. And so check it out. Oh yeah, all over 2 a.m. So that's a negative 1 right there. So this is going to be a positive 2. Let's go to the party. We have a 4 right here, and then we have a positive 4 right there. And so that's a square root of 8. On the bottom we have a negative 2. Let's clean this up. So this is going to be, we're going to have 2 plus or minus 2 rad 2. That's simplified. We simplify that by splitting up to a 4 and a 2. And the square root of 4 is 2, which is why we have this. And we're dividing it by negative 2. Now this one, the sign's going to change because we divide it by a negative. This one doesn't matter because it's both signs anyways. And so we have negative 1 plus or minus radical 2. How do I graph that? I mean, it's not imaginary. If it's not imaginary, that means it's real. It could be irrational. That's allowed. Irrational numbers can be on our graph. Plug it into your calculator. Okay, in your calculator, you're going to do it twice. You're going to say negative 1 plus radical 2, and you're going to say negative 1 minus radical 2, and those are going to be your 2 x-intercepts. Lay them on me, students. Whoa, calm down. calculator out of control. So we get 0.414. Oh, I have like no more space right here. 0.414 right here. And what about the other one? Negative 2.414. Good. Always go to 3 decimal places. So here's our two x-intercepts, guys. Can you estimate where they are in our graph? Absolutely. 0.4 is really close to 0.5, so that's kind of like in the middle right there. And then the negative 2.4, that's going to be, see, that's 1, 2, and that's 3 right there. It'll be right between the 2 and the 3. And now I have my graph right here. Notice I was able to graph my graph without looking at my y-intercept. And some of you guys might be super lazy and not find the y-intercept now, but don't. Because it's always another, it's just another checkpoint to make sure that your answer is right. It's like you're checking your answer a bunch of times. If I were to find the y-intercept, what do I have to do? Yeah, all you do is plug in 0 to the x. Okay, that's not bad. F of 0 equals negative 0 squared minus 2 times 0 plus 1, which equals 1. So it looks like my y-intercept is right there, which is on my line. I did a good job. Yay.